This is your market weekend recap for the weekend of January 7th. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend recap as of January 8th, 2022 for stocks, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Let's get into it. First, always start in the Discord room. If you have questions about anything in this video, please stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below. I'd appreciate if you like what you see, subscribe, and can help you out. And if you have questions, I mean, market is one of those things where if you're trading by yourself, you're probably gonna find yourself lost at some point. So here, this is the Stock Traders Almanac. That's what they're expecting for next week. Bullish days to start the week. Just keep in mind, when you look at the seasonality, here are my notes. The middle of both January and February should run up into. Do not be surprised if the markets do hold up into that and then have some pullback. Earnings season is also around the corner. Just keep that in mind. At the end of the week, banks will have their earnings. There's a lot going on. So again, that's why I asked if people want to learn and need help, stop by the Discord room. Let's jump into Bitcoin. I apologize. I thought this chart was on the daily. No, I don't want to upgrade. Trading view. No, I don't. So here's how we're looking. Talked about this. These levels breaking, need to hold here. I drew out this green zone. If you notice, this is acted as resistance. Once it broke through it, became support. Once it broke through it, became resistance. Or once it popped up, it was resistance again. I mean, you can see this area in the green has been important previously. I did a live trade alert. I think it's worth watching. Just keep in mind, I like this action. You were taking out that low. You're back into that green box. And notice you see some long wicks. You see some wicks forming with volume. I think people are buying down here. We will see what happens. If you understand trading, you buy with a tight stop. You know you're willing to lose certain amounts just to trade it correctly. It's not rocket science. I think Bitcoin at the 40,000 to 39,000 level is a decent buy with a stop. TLT filled the gap. Talked about, I say this every day, as long as the rates are stable, which if you look at this since July, they are been pretty stable. They trading in this range. I noticed on Friday that we had, or early in the week, this 2-day range, we looked below, popped, and then we made a new low and then popped. I think rates will hold. I mean, I've talked about this. The fiscal deficit is so large with so many issues going on in the economy. It's almost impossible for the feds to raise rates. They have a dual mandate, and the record 4.5 million workers quit their jobs in November. Unemployment rate might have come down, but the actual participation rate is a absolute joke. I don't think the feds can raise rates on themselves. I mean, it'd be like you and I having a credit card and being happy the credit card company jumped our rate on our debt from 5 to 10, 15%. No, we would like to keep it stable if they want us to borrow more. Dollar, talked about this. The jobs number that came out Friday was not great. Miss, and I think this is bearish. I think the dollar's in this chop zone. Once you get below this 25.60 area, I think you really could see the dollar continue to melt down. It's just really that simple. The VIX, we always talk about this if you're trading the indexes. This 21 area was very important. These lines draw themselves. Support equals resistance. We hit them and failed. It's easy to see when you go into the SPY why that's happening. The VIX volatility is compressing as we get towards the 50-day. Last time we got there was pretty wide and loose. Next time we busted right through it. Now we're just chopping here. So if you do think the market's going to fail, I mean, we had a nice W there, it popped. I would look at the 100-day and look at this 450 range area as a potential support. I still think in time we will get higher for seasonality, but be aware if you're going to try to short the market, the best time to short it is in the spring after after earnings. Same thing with the Qs, 100-day. If we fail, I think the 200-day is coming. I have a hard time believing the market's going to fail at this point. I know everyone's talking about the feds are tightening, but if the feds are really tightening, go check out their balance sheet. Their balance sheet is not tightening. That's the key. They might stop buying a few bonds and certain things, but they are still ratcheting up their spending. Gold. This is one's very interesting because we've been pretty good about picking the tops and bottoms. And when we hit this, when this candle formed on Wednesday on the 4.5 million people quitting the workforce, I was a little confused. Again, I get confused. The market's, it's impossible to know everything all the time. There's nobody that does. I did say I don't like seeing the lower high, and then what happened? We came back, we got below all these moving averages. I like this action. This is a hammer, and then you have this higher high. I think gold will rally in time. Same with silver and the miners. I think they all just filled gaps and retested. I mean, we're going to run through these quick. Filled the gap, higher high today, or on Friday. Same thing with the GDXJ. You're filling gaps. This one didn't make it higher, but you know, you're filling this gap right here at basically 39, and you have a doji. I don't mind that. It's an indecision candle. AG, same kind of thing. Filled the gap, got back down here. Doji. That doesn't scare me. KL filled a gap or tested the gap. I mean, we got close enough for government work there, but we tested the gap. Nice doji. Again, a lot of indecision at the lows is what you want to see. I don't think the miners are really, I mean, again, filling a gap here passes another one. I don't think they're going to get slammed here. If they do, you have stops. That's the key here, is just have a stop if you're wrong. You know, I've talked about the tech war, who wins it, and I keep talking about materials. If you're not paying attention, here's an example. We talked about letter X, US Steel breaking the downtrend, now higher highs, higher lows. It looks way better than the market. Put out alerts about this one previously. We said if we get over this blue zone high, go. Well, there you go. VALE took out the range high around 14.15 and closed at 481. Again, notice how this action, compare this to the market. VALE is making higher highs, up almost 11 times 3. Yeah, it's almost up 30-something% off the lows. I mean, that's strong. I mean, what stocks do you know that are up 30% since November? Most of them are down, especially when we start rotating into the tech names. Because let's start the tech train. And again, I think it looks like a train that's not very stable. Since November, what has AMD done? It's down 15-20%. Keep talking about this over and over. You hit the channel high, you failed, has a head and shoulders pattern, and on the daily, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, back down to range lows. These are underperforming. Notice there's going to be a common theme. Tech is underperforming. Apple. I like Apple because of its dividend and potential into the new year, because I think the monthly will get up to this monthly top of the range. It's holding up better than some of the other tech names. Just keep that in mind. We did put out alerts saying, hey, watch this blue zone in the 180s. If it fails, it can back up. We had a trade alert here at the buy on the 20-day. That looked good. Now we're back under the 20-day. Not ideal, but let's see what happens. I mean, patience here. I think Apple, again, with their huge buyback and money in their cash, is different than, say, every other tech company that is just trading on helium earnings potential in the future, which ultimately, who knows if they'll ever succeed. MicroStrategy talked about the 500 range. If Bitcoin is bottoming, keep an eye on this. This one's very hard, has a lot of wild moves. If you get close to the bottom and it does jump hundreds of points, you'll be happy. And if you're close to the bottom and you stop out for a small loss, you should be happy with that too. Jump into Roblox. This is one that, you know, again, leave it alone. So leave it alone, and look what happened. Now it backfills. Now we're getting close to the gap. We even got below my blue zone, which I thought was a buy. I'm not buying because I don't like the way that tech's acting right now. But if you do like Roblox, I do for the long run. Here comes this little trend line. You know, watch the 80s. I think it's a buy there, potentially with a stop. Again, everything is a probability. There's no certainty here. So before you jump in and do something crazy, just watch the market. Again, tech is underperforming, so I'm more likely not to buy it. But who knows? Things can change. RIVN, we bought this here with a stop. We got stopped out, made a few points, and now it's back at the channel low. Claimant pointed that out. This one's tough. You know, I don't trust it until it gets back over 95, but I will say that there are some great stocks that go below their IPO price after a big pop and then rebuild and come back. So it'll just stay on the list, but it's just tough because this is the big dog in the room, is Tesla. And I keep telling people, I'm like, this isn't bullish. This thing went on a monster run. It needs to consolidate. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when you go from 500s to 1200s and it takes a break, seems pretty logical to me. We put out an alert, watch this area, put out an alert to break the downtrend. Again, I do a lot of technical analysis on this thing, and I'm usually right. Said buy down here, said buy if it breaks the downtrend, said short up here. It's going to be a trading stock. If you think that Tesla's a long-term hold, well, guess what? It is if you're in at the right prices, but also you should have been liquidating some up here so you can buy dips. I think it's going to dip in time. I think it will retest. I don't know. It seems logical that, of course, it held, you know, the old highs at 900s. I think it could be, let's do this let's do this like the run's already over, and let's see what we can pull out from here. I know people don't want to believe that Tesla's done running higher, but it's just due to rest. It's nothing wrong with the company. That's just how stocks go. They go up, they rest. They go up, they rest. So now you go up really big. Again, look at I would say the 0.382. I would love to see it hit the 618, this whole blue zone. If you could extrapolate this forward, that would be ideal. Get back to the 550s, like really shake out everybody. We'll see what happens. It's tough to know. Again, long term, I do not advise you holding this fully. You should have taken some profits so that you can buy dips just in case it does get absolutely slammed, because who knows what is going to happen ultimately coming up. Companies cannot maintain a competitive advantage forever. If you studied the dot-com bubble and you've been trading for 20 years like myself, you know there's no such thing as certainty. A few stocks will do it, but 99.9% of them will not be able to hold a competitive advantage. Not everything is Google, Facebook, or Apple, even Amazon. Those are the 4 or 5 that'll survive. But again, that doesn't mean their price is always going to go up. UTHR, Mikey French, I like this. It would break out. It didn't back test it. We painted this circle. I'd watch down here. I think if things gonna pop, it just needs to hold down here. It's looking okay. EXPI, we did an alert on this. Where is it? Ding, there it is. This is worth watching. This trend line, we talked about the monthly. Oh, sorry, no, the weekly. Watch this area, then 26, 27, 28. I wouldn't say 26, but again, if you buy down here, have a stop. There is a seasonal run up in real estate, because guess what? Real estate always does well going into the second quarter because people are going to be moving after the school year. It's just natural. It is what it is. I think I skipped PENN. Again, if the order is a little off, I apologize. You can, just move around. You'll see it. I think this might be a head and shoulders bottom, but also too, it's just not acting well. I got stopped out at the 20-day. I would keep an eye on it. Again, you can't watch everything all the time. It looks okay, but you don't want to see it make a new low, 43. Let's talk about some of the materials names, because again, notice what is leading. I hate to be a broken record. We talked about this. Break the downtrend. It didn't. That next day did not have fall through, and then we also didn't have volume. We back tested, then we went up with volume. I think it's chilling out, not a problem. Another example of breaking a downtrend with volume and going is ExxonMobil. We talked about we didn't like this because it didn't have the volume. It backed up. Look at that candle. Look at the volume. Look what it's done. Volume equals demand. This thing got a rocking and rolling. Again, if you have questions, come by the Discord room. If you're not subscribed, please do. Check out all of the content on this channel. We are building this up to be something as a resource for anybody who's looking to trade, and I hope it helps. I appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.